Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is a follow-up to a video I did a couple of weeks ago, which in itself was a response to Ross Goodall, where I showed my 10 favourite debut singles. This time I'm going to show my 10 favourite live singles. Now live singles are not that popular and they never really do that well in the charts. Understandably, people prefer a nice polished studio version, but in saying that, some of these were pretty big hits. Now I have said that I'm only allowed one song per artist, which is a shame because I know for a fact that I would have put at least two of one artist in this, and I'll tell you what it is whenever I come to it. But I'll go through this top 10 and I'll tell you whether I prefer the live version or the studio version. So at number 10 we have Queen and Love of My Life, and this is from their Live Killers album. It was released in 1979 and it got to number 63, so it didn't do very well. I think this is really good. It's an acoustic take on it, with Brian sitting there and Freddie standing beside him singing away. I still prefer the version on A Night at the Opera though. I do like that piano led version, but still this is actually pretty good and it gets my number 10. And number 9, and a number 9 hit in 1975, so this did really well, and this is Status Quo and Roll Over Lay Down, and the studio version is on their Hello album. This is actually a live EP, so this didn't feature on any album at all. This is really good and I got, as I said, top 10, but I still do prefer the version on Hello. So Status Quo, the live EP from 1975, gets my number 9. Number 8, and from 1982, and a number 26 hit, that's the Rolling Stones, Going to a Go-Go, and I love this, and I bought this when it came out, and this is one of the songs that actually really got me into the Stones, because I got into the Stones in 1982. This came out and I thought it was fantastic. Now they never recorded a studio version of this. This is on their Still Life album, but it is brilliant, and I remember seeing the video on Top of the Pops, which is the live concert, and then getting the video, the VHS of that concert out. I absolutely loved it. So the Rolling Stones gets my number 8, and a really good B-side here, Beast of Burden live version, which is very good, which didn't feature on the Still Life album. At number 7, and a number 10 hit in 1974, and it's David Bowie and it's Knock on Wood, and this I think is brilliant. I really do like it. I think the first time I actually heard the song was Amy Stewart in 1979, but I love this version. He hasn't done a studio version of it at all. It featured on David Live, one of my all-time favourite live albums, and there's a non-album B-side, Panic in Detroit, which has been added to the album ever since all the reissues came about, first on CD and now on vinyl. But this is really, really good, and as I say, it got top 10 in 74, so it did better than things like Diamond Dogs. So excellent song, gets my number 7. At number 6, and another number 10, this time from 1979, and it's Kate Bush on stage, and it's Them Heavy People, the one that goes Rolling the Ball. It's originally on her first album. I think I prefer this version to the actual LP version. I just think it's slightly stronger. You also get Don't Push Your Foot in the Heartbreak on here, James and the Cold Gun, and L'Amour Looks Something Like You. So it's a good 4-track EP, and yeah, I remember this in the charts as well. So yeah, Them Heavy People gets my number 6. And at number 5, from 1980, a number 44 hit, and it's from Slade, and it's the Alive at Reading 1980 EP, and the lead off track is When I'm Dancing I Ain't Fighting, and this is a rip-roaring song, really, really good. But I do prefer the studio version, which featured on the 6 of the Best 12-inch, and later to feature on the We'll Bring the House Down. This is really good. This is whenever they filled in for Ozzy Osbourne, who couldn't make the gig, and they stole the show, and it brought Slade back into the chart, so it's my number 5. Number 4, and we have from 1980 and a song that didn't chart, and it's Toyah and Danced, and this is from her Toyah 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 live album, and I think this is brilliant. One of her best ever songs, and this is the best version as well. The live version from Warrior Rock is also very good, but not as good as this, and this is better than the original version which featured on the Sheep Farming in Barnet EP and album. But this is a magnificent track. You know, it didn't chart, and I can understand why. It takes it about a minute and a bit to get into it, but it's such a fantastic song, and that gets my number 4. And at number 3, and it's the big number 1 hit from 1980, and it's Too Much Too Young by The Specials, or I think it's The Special AKA here. Yeah, this is fantastic. Got to number 1, as I say. 2 tracks on the first side. I love Guns of Navarone as well. It's just a really brilliant song, and this live version is much better, I think, than the version of their debut album. I think there's just more energy to this, more upbeat, and it's a brilliant song and it deserves to get to number 1. So my number 2, and it's from 1977, and a number 28 hit, and it's by Wings, and it is Maybe I'm Amazed, and this is one of Paul McCartney's finest ever songs. Do I prefer this over the studio version? I'm not sure. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. At the moment I probably do. I was watching this on The Rock Show on YouTube the other day, and I just thought it was absolutely amazing. A brilliant song, but as I say, only got to 28, but the song was 7 years old by that time. But still, I have always said that this would have been, if the Beatles had have carried on, one of the first 2 singles to be released after the Let It Be. The other one I think would have been George's What Is Life, but brilliant song and McCartney classic. And my number 1, and my favourite live single of all time, and it's from an artist I don't show very often. Mr. Lloyd Boone will be very happy to see this. It's Elvis Presley's I Just Can't Help Believing, which I just think is brilliant. I absolutely love it. I love the backing vocals of it. It's so laid back, such a brilliant song, and then whenever the horns come in, magnificent. And I will admit, if I had my way and I could include another Elvis, an American Trilogy would be in the top 10 as well, which I adore, and possibly The Wonder of You, maybe not, but definitely an American Trilogy. So number 1, Elvis Presley, I Just Can't Help Believing, which is a number 6 hit in 1971. Okay, so there's my top 10 live singles of all time. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.